Hi all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some lovely cheesy beef Jamaican patties. This is my first attempt at making this and they came out amazingly nice. I did get inspiration for this recipe from Chef Morris. He's also on YouTube. I kind of took his recipe and then tweaked it to make it my own. So stay tuned. In a sieve, I add 4 cups of flour, and to this I add 1 tablespoon of both curry powder and turmeric. Then I add 2 teaspoons of baking powder and a sprinkle of salt, about half a teaspoon, and then 1 tablespoon of sugar. And then I just sift this into the bowl. I'm going to put all the ingredients that I used in the description box, just in case anyone else wanted to make this recipe again. You've got everything there for you. So sifting the flour just makes the dough a lot more easier to handle and easier to work with. So I usually always sift my flour for any dough recipes. So now I'm gonna cut the butter. Your butter must be cold. So this has been kept in the fridge and I'm only taking it out when I'm ready to use it. I cut about 1/3 of a stick of butter, and then whatever I cut off the butter, I cut half of that of my vegetable fat. This is vegetable fat, Trex it's called, but you can use animal fat such as beef fat, or you can use lard, which is pig fat, any type of fat, because it's the fat that gets the pastry to be flaky. We want that flakiness in the pastry. So I'm just cubing up my vegetable fat, and I'm going to do the same with the butter as well to get them into small cubes, makes it easier to work with. So now I've got that cubed nicely, I just throw it into the flour and I use the fork to combine the butter and the vegetable fat into the flour. Just mash the fork into the butter and into the vegetable fat, just helping it to combine with the flour. So remember, the butter and the fat are extremely cold, so they are very hard. After using the fork, I use my fingers to really squeeze that butter, squeeze that vegetable fat and combine it with the flour. So it does take a bit of time and effort to make this patty, but trust me, it is worth it in the end, 100%. So I've been combining them for a couple of minutes and this is what it's looking like. It's looking kind of like apple crumble. Can you see the crumbly mixture to it? But we're not done yet. So after about 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes, this is what my outcome looks like. So it's a nice bright yellowish kind of color and very crumbly. I'm going to add some buttermilk now. I got this buttermilk from Tesco, but you can get buttermilk from any supermarket. I didn't measure how much buttermilk I added, but my tip is to add it a little at a time. Just add a little bit, use the fork to mix it, add a little bit more, use the fork to mix it. Once the dough starts coming together, you can just use your hand and combine all of these ingredients together. So as you can see now, the dough is getting a lot more combined. So I use my hand and start to knead it. If the dough is a bit too sticky, you can sprinkle some flour, which I did. Just sprinkle a bit of flour on top to ensure it doesn't stick to your fingers, but we don't want to overdo it with the flour. You don't want to add so much flour that your dough starts to crack. It will be slightly sticky, but not sticky enough that it is sticking to your fingers consistently. And then I just knead this dough for a good 5 minutes. Just keep on kneading, kneading, kneading. So this is exactly how your dough should look. Nice and yellow, nice and smooth. There should be no bumps or no lumps inside of it. It should be slightly sticky, but not too sticky, but it shouldn't be dry. The last thing you want is a dry dough. So as you can see, this dough is looking perfect. And what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get some cling film and I'm going to put it into the fridge for half an hour. By putting it into the fridge, it helps to cool that butter down. Remember, now we've been working this dough, the butter, the fat, it's got very warm inside of it. We need it to be cold because we want that flaky, nice patty. So it's half an hour now. I've taken the dough out of the fridge and I'm just laying my countertop with flour because I'm ready to roll this dough out. Make sure you've got a clean work surface. If you don't want to use your countertop, you can use like a chopping board, but it might not give you enough space because this dough, we need to roll it out quite thin and there's a lot we're going to have to do with it. So as you can see, my dough is not sticky, it's not sticking to my hands, and it's not dry, it's not cracking. This is exactly how you need it. So I sprinkle a little flour on the top and I sprinkle some flour on my rolling pin because I don't want this dough sticking. I just want it to roll effortlessly. So I begin rolling my dough, applying a nice firm pressure. You need to really focus on this bit now because this is what makes this patty amazing, okay? You see how I'm rolling it? Roll it really nice and thin. Then I'm going to do something that I call the folding, and this makes the extra flakiness you get in those patties, which makes it a bit different to meat pies because meat pies don't have this flakiness. So you can see how thin I've rolled it out. It's about 1 centimeter thin. I'm folding it over and I fold it over again and I fold it over again. You see that? If you didn't, make sure you go back and watch it. And then I just put the dough back down and roll it out. This allows me to make layers in my dough, okay? It's a very important step when you make your patty. And then I'm just going to do this again. And I do it about 2 or 3 times. So if you're liking this video so far and this is something you feel like you're going to make or attempt to make, hit that like button. Show me that you like it. Show me some love. Okay, so now we're going to make it extra flaky. We want flaky patty, yeah? So I've just got a potato peeler here and I'm just putting my butter into the dough. This butter I've taken out of the fridge. It was cold. Remember I've said we need to use cold butter. We don't want our butter to get warm. If your fridge isn't cold enough, put it into the freezer. We need the butter cold. So I'm just flaking the butter into the dough. And then I'm going to go on with my folding technique again to ensure this butter is folded into the dough. Okay, so watch it. Fold, fold, and fold again, just like we done before. Yeah, then you put that out, you roll it out, and then we repeat with the butter. I do this just twice. Twice is enough to get your flakiness that we want. So now we're going to prepare to put this patty dough in the fridge one last time because now that butter is getting warm. Cover the patty dough with flour and fold it. Wherever you fold, as you can see, I put the flour on again. Just cover it with flour. We do not want this dough to stick. And then fold it again. So when I fold it, I put more flour again. And it's just a repetitive thing. Keep on folding, put flour, fold, put flour. So I wrap it with some cling film, again, to ensure that it doesn't dry out. That's the last thing you want for your dough to dry out. Just wrap it and then put it in the fridge for about half an hour. I shall see you soon. So a quick tip, when you're working with curry powder, you must remember curry powder stains. You can't see it in my camera, but my surface was slightly stained, like a tinge of yellow. To clean this, just get some fairy liquid and some white vinegar and get a clean sponge and just wipe it with the sponge. This should get rid of any curry stain or any turmeric stain from your surface. You have to make sure you do this straight away, because if you wait till afterwards, it's going to stain and it might not come off. Okay, so I've removed the dough from the fridge. It's very firm, as you can see. I'm just attempting to open it up, but before I do that, I powdered the surface with flour. I don't want it to stick again. Just open it very gently. I did get a little hole in it, but it doesn't matter because we are going to start molding our dough into the shape that we want. When it's onto the surface, I'm just going to use half of the dough because I want to roll it out even thinner. I want to work with a smaller piece. So just half of my dough I take out, and then I start rolling it out to about, I would say, 1 centimeter thick. So once the dough's rolled out nice and even, it's time to shape the dough into our lovely patty shapes. So I've got part 2 of this video, which I'm going to show you how I make the filling for the patty and how I shape the patty and how I seal it and the final processes of how to get this patty very perfect. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss when that video comes up, and I shall see you soon. Thank you so much for watching.